Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is Reservations, and I'm Rain Whaler.
And I'm, Gerald, hold on, poinsettia.
Oh, God, that was good. Geralt, was that with a J or a G?
Dealer's choice. It's kind of like in the beginning of the whole Egypt uprising of Muammar Gaddafi. No one could settle on a spelling for Gaddafi, and so sometimes it was a Q, sometimes a K, sometimes a C, sometimes
That's so funny.
So yeah, dealer's choice.
What a way to come back. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back, everyone. It's been 2 fucking weeks.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, man. It's been a
But guess what? You're married now.
I am married now. Look at that right there, bro.
Oh, shit.
Look at that.
Now
People at YouTube, you can see the ring.
now you get to have sex.
Yeah, she still said no. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That's okay.
I mean, no one said you had to have sex.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's just now legally,
Legally, I could.
in the eyes of our Lord and Savior, you can have sex.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, the wedding was tight. The mountains were beautiful.
Yeah. Fucking even leaving like Walmart, there's like mountains.
Yeah, dude.
And you're
Ashley
like, whoa.
was like, I could live here. I was like, yeah, really?
It's like, yeah. Like, well, never, because it's New Mexico. Fuck New Mexico.
Illegal weed, bro. Well, you know.
Yeah, but the speed limit's terrible.
Oh my God, don't even
The
talk
roads
to
are
me.
bad.
Well, dude, when we left that night, bro, I was convinced I was going to hit a deer. Because
Yeah.
it was so foggy and it was so dark.
Dark.
And I will say, though, that is a plus about the darkness. Because when we were staying in our cabin, like, it was just so dark.
Yeah.
And it kind of freaked me out the first night, but I was like, you know what? That's okay. It's because I'm used to living in the city.
Yeah.
But no, dude, the ceremony was beautiful.
Nice.
I have been dreaming of that carnitas for 2 weeks.
That's dope because normally, like, I told Haley, like, listen, the food just can't be bad. It
Yeah.
can be okay.
It could be decent.
It could be okay or great. It can't just be because you're going to remember bad and you're going to remember great. I don't care if you don't remember what food we had, right?
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Dude, when Ashley tried it before me and she was like, she was like, you need to get in on this. Yeah. The second closest was the mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, the mac and cheese was real good. Yeah.
Mac and cheese was tight.
Thank God we got to eat. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to eat.
Dude,
Haley and I.
well, then y'all kept, I felt bad for y'all because I noticed like y'all would sit down and start to eat. And then someone would want y'all to get up and dance.
Yeah,
So
or
you'd get up and
something,
dance again. And I'm like, they are never going to get to eat.
Yeah, I was like, I want to eat though. So they gotta eat fast.
It was kind of like Ashley and I's wedding. We were trying to eat. And everyone kept coming up and talking to us and hugging us. I'm like I'm trying to eat my finger food.
Yeah, what fingies?
Because like I said, we were cheap asses and
Right.
we fed everyone finger sandwiches and
No, hey
little
man.
shit.
I mean, listen, catering's expensive, so good for you.
But-
Good for you.
But yeah, man, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard when Keegan was like, he's like, come on, man, let's go say something. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, do we have to? He's like, no, come on, let's just go say something. I was like, but I don't want to.
I don't wanna.
Like, I already have to give one speech at a wedding 4 days
Yeah,
from now.
that's true.
And I was like, I don't want to. And then they were like, all right, we're going to cut the cake now. And he was just so awkwardly like,
I was like,
oh,
did you want to? Because like, it's not happening.
it's not happening now. So do you want to do it now?
Like, cake's more important than whatever you have to say.
Yeah.
I feel bad because it would have been really good. Whatever he.
Do you
had to
think he
say.
would have made you cry?
No, but it would have been like really sappy on him. It
Yeah.
would have
Do you
been-
think he would have cried?
No, but it would have been. He's good at that. He's got radio voice and he's good at
Dude, for
public
sure,
speaking.
Keegan. Dude, if we ever got to the point where we had like an engineer in here with us, it would have to be Keegan. That way, people would be
He
seeing,
could chime in.
people would see us, and then they'd hear this really deep, soothing voice in the background, like, "Hey guys, I think you're wrong."
Yeah. Actually, I looked it up, and that's a terrible Keegan impression, but it's it's nice. It's a good radio voice.
Oh yeah.
For
we've been droning on for too long.
podcasting, yeah.
So we're back, everyone.
Yep.
Jeremy's married.
I'm married.
He's now Jeremy Flanagan.
I wish.
And yeah, excited to get back into it because we have been droning on for a little bit too long.
Yes, I will say before we get started, I saw an amazing movie the other day called The Banshees of Inisherin. And
you finally watched it?
Yeah, it was great. So
okay, on the scale, considering the last time they saw it, well, they didn't see us because the video fucked up. The last time they heard us, we were talking about Seven Psychopaths. So on the scale of Martin movies, now taking into consideration you've seen Three Billboards and I haven't.
Yeah.
How would you place this one?
I would put In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths in one category, which is full-on comedies. Okay. I would put Three Billboards and Banshees of Inisherin on this side. I would say Banshees of Inisherin. I've learned how to say it, so I'm proud of myself.
So you're gonna say it till you die?
I would say it's above Three Billboards. Only because I love the chemistry. But I mean, talking or not, mean to each other or not, I love the chemistry between Farrell and Gleason. So that beats.
I saw that it was on HBO Max. I was like, oh fuck.
I know. As soon as I started, I go, well, I'm watching that today. So
yeah, probably when we're done here. Well, I don't know. Ashley and I have, if anyone has been watching as of this recording, Ashley and I have been finally getting into Wednesday, which, as I've told you off mic, it's like
I'm not gonna say
all the Gen Z shit I don't care for.
Oof, that would bother me.
And it's also like, it's like a Gen Xer or a millennial has written this show and they think this is how Gen Zs talk. So there's one episode where Enid, Wednesday's dorm mate, is like, oh, are you on Insta, it's TikTok, or Snapchat? And I was like, no one fucking says that.
Maybe they do. I don't know. But here's what I'm going to say.
But the mystery element, like, of Wednesday trying to solve this mystery, that's what has me kind of hooked.
Like, what I would say is, when I say, like, the Gen Z stuff would bother me, it wouldn't bother me like I'm mad at Gen Z, like I'm like, whatever. It just, like, this isn't for me. You don't
get it, yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of, like, high school melodrama shit, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't like that. But it's the mystery element, and it's very Tim Burton. But yeah, so I'm going to hopefully get around to watching Banshees, because then also when I showed Ashley, because I showed you off mic, what the new Doctor's look is going to look like, she was like, maybe I should rewatch it. And I was like, I would be down for to stop where I'm already rewatching and go back and do it again.
Wow.
Because I love Doctor Who.
I know you do.
Anyway, well, that's great. That's good to hear. I mean, I knew that movie was going to be dope anyway.
You already watched stuff with subtitles on. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Turn it up.
Oh shit.
It takes place in 1923. And
in Ireland,
their accents are heavy, and they're using
their real
words that we don't use anymore. And they're of course they're also using cultural words also, and so you really got to catch it. You got to pay attention. You got to listen because it's hard. Haley was next to me. She's not really watching it, but even if she was like, I can't understand
it off.
I can't understand.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, I'm not turning it off. But
no, you just sit there.
No.
We're legally married now.
Yeah, we signed the papers. You're watching this movie.
You legally agreed to watch movies with me now.
That's right.
Yeah. So. But awesome, man. Yeah. Like I said, I knew it was going to be dope. I will hopefully get around to watching it soon. But anyway, so if you remember 2 weeks ago, today, finally, we are talking about Peter Bogdanovich's The Last Picture Show. I meant to look it up. This was his first movie, right? Or
I don't think that's true.
I don't think it is. I don't think it's true either. I meant to look it up so I could be prepared for that.
While we're talking, but yeah, I don't think that's true at all. That's wrong. What you said.
But the opposite you said.
No. Few shorts, but he did. Yeah, this thing says he did a directed by John Ford. I don't know what that is. Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women. Targets he had done beforehand. So
so he had already sort of started to make a name for it.
But I mean, Last Picture Show was a huge hit, more so than these others. And then he did Paper Moon. He did What's Up, Doc. So yeah, it skyrocketed his career for sure.
Yeah, and as we kind of hinted at in Seven Psychopaths. This is sort of the beginning of the emergence of the new Hollywood era.
It's near, actually, I would say it's near sort of the tail end of the victory of New Hollywood, because this is 71. So really the counterculture in New Hollywood sort of started in like 68, I would say.
Okay.
You know, like definitely the real turning point was Easy Rider, and that was I think 69.
Yeah, and that's in the collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then of course, you know, once Easy Rider hit, then I mean these films just kept pumping in.
Yeah, and then that eventually led to other movies like Star Wars. You know, Star Wars was technically a part of the new Hollywood. Well, it was directly inspired by, because George was inspired by these directors too. But anyway, so this was a first time watch for the both of us.
Yeah.
And since this was your pick, you get to hit me with your first impressions.
Okay. I told Haley it was a few minutes before it ended. She was next to me. She was wrapping presents.
Uh-huh.
And every once in a while, it was piquing her interest. Yeah, because every once in a while, she'd look at me and go, oh, I know who that is. Oh, is that who that is? Oh, whatever. She had a lot to say about Sybil Shepherd, but her character.
So do I.
I know. So, but I told her maybe 5 minutes before it ended. I go, I'm going to tell you something. I think I love this movie. Absolutely love it. And it ended, and I go, yep, I love it. I think this is going to be one of my top movies of all time on my list.
Yeah,
sure.
there was a lot of stuff I wasn't expecting in the movie, which I know we'll get into. But yeah,
Same.
I agree.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. And, you know, and of course we'll really get into it. But the biggest point for me was Jeff Bridges. I mean, and this was a career defining moment for him.
Yeah.
You know, he'd done a few things before this, but this.
And his dad is famous.
Yeah.
Lloyd. So,
Bo is his brother.
Yes, Bo is his brother. Lloyd Bridges is their dad. Famous on Sea Hunt, if anybody watched that show back in the day. I got to visit where they filmed that in Hollywood. There's a restaurant there now. And also he was in High Noon,
yeah.
Lloyd Bridges was. And of course, famously, how I know him, in Airplane. He's, I picked a bad day to quit Infinity.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, get off your knees. You're blowing my mind right now. Dude, I can't. You know how many times I've seen Airplane and never have made that connection?
Yep, that's Lloyd. That's
Jesus
Lloyd
Christ.
Yeah, and in that's a lie. The first time I ever saw Lloyd Bridges was in Seinfeld, because he was the Mandelbaum. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh my God.
And then it was Airplane, and then I've been working backwards.
But anyway.
So,
yeah.
So Jeff Bridges for you, that was like the...
Yeah, because as I said in our 100th, shout out to our 100th episode, The Big Lebowski, I love Jeff. You know, Crazy Heart is at the top of my list to watch.
Oh, yeah. It's fucking great.
I think Jeff just has an amazing range. And to see sort of kind of where it kind of started for him with this movie.
It was fun for me to sit next to Haley and go, do you want to know what they look like right now? You know, because they're so fucking young in this movie. Everybody is so young in this movie.
It took me a second to realize, even though I know we're really going to talk about her, Sybil Shepherd.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's not Sybil Shepherd.
Yeah, that's...
And then I looked at her, I was like, oh my God.
That's Sean Spencer's mom.
It's like, that is.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think it definitely makes me want to watch more Peter Bogdanovich movies. R.I.P. Peter Bogdanovich.
I know.
I feel like the last thing I saw him in was It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
As the director of
whatever movie
of Will's not Will. Oh my God.
Stuttering Bill.
Bill, that's it.
No.
Bill's fucking movie. That he just comes in.
Like the ending's terrible. Yeah, he's on the
fucking crane and he comes in and he's like, your ending's terrible.
Yeah, the ending's
and then he's just gone and that's it. It was Peter Bogdanovich.
I don't know if it was that or if it was his Buster Keaton documentary that he directed. It's amazing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and the only other time I'd seen Peter Bogdanovich was in his guest appearance in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. I was telling Haley about that. I was like, you may recognize him from that, but...
Of the whole Willem Dafoe thing.
Yeah.
That sounds like a frog and a...
Her recall, that stuff's not as good as yours.
Yeah. Well, that's child of divorce over here. That was my coping mechanism. Now that I can't stop.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, okay. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Would you like to hit everyone with the synopsis?
Yes, I read a little bit. That's a lie. I read a sentence. Didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of research this time, but
Neither did I.
But I loved how they put it. It takes place between the lull between World War II and Korea, right? I love that because it sort of paints a picture of, much like The Town, there's not a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
And it's sort of like this very dull place to be, which may be true. But it's really just all of these people who live in this town outside of Wichita Falls, Texas.
Yeah.
Which is why we like it, I'm sure. And just their lives. It's a year of their lives, basically. It follows really 3 main high school students and a few adults around the town. And just their lives. I really don't want to get more into it because then we'll start going into individual people, and that's going to take forever.
That's fine.
I think my favorite, if we can talk favorites, before we even get started.
Yeah, absolutely.
My favorite is Ben Johnson, who plays Sam the Lion.
Oh, dude.
Who, again, it took me a minute because I was like, I know that face, I know that voice. I looked him up. He owns the Angels and Angels in the Outfield. He is the team owner, and oh my God, like I just lost my mind.
To Angels in the Outfield.
I was like, no wonder. No wonder I feel a sense of comfort with this guy.
Well, and of course Sam, the character of Sam, which I know we'll get more into, is sort of like the town wise man.
I agree. He is. Yeah, he's pretty much the moral center of the town.
Yeah.
But I guess we can start with Timothy Bottoms, Sonny. Sonny's sort of our main character.
I would say more than Jeff Bridges' character, Dwayne, and fucking Sybil Shepherd's JC. Sonny, I feel like we're seeing the world more through Sonny's eyes.
Yes, I think we're, as far as the adolescent coming of age portion of this story, of this movie goes, we're seeing it through his eyes. We're seeing the town through his eyes. We're seeing what his experience, right?
Yeah.
Through Sonny's eyes. And what I thought was really interesting was I like how he's a little bit more, and we see this early on, that he fancies himself a little more mature, I think, than most people so far, that he's just like, you know what, then he just breaks up with his girlfriend. You know what, then I guess we should just break up then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, if I keep ruining our nights, then why don't we just break up then?
Yeah, let's just do it then. And then, of course, then he starts to have that affair with Cloris Leachman's character.
Ruth, yeah.
Which was interesting. I didn't see the story going in that direction at all.
Neither did I.
When the coach tells him to go pick up his wife and take her to the clinic and drive her back.
Yeah, and that's how you know it's a small town.
And I knew it was, and once you see it's Cloris Leachman, you know.
Dude. So before we really get into it, this is like a greatest hits of all the movies we talked about with these actors. Jeff Bridges, Cloris Leachman, and, shocking us both, Ellen Burstyn.
Burstyn.
I always forget the
That's
N. Ellen Burstyn, if anyone remembers, she's Jared Leto's mom in Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, Sarah Goldfarb in Requiem for a Dream. Yeah, she's a total knockout. I can't get into it right now. We're talking about Sonny, but
Sonny.
Once we get to her, we'll get to her, because I end up really, really liking her too. You don't think you will when the movie starts, but then
I really didn't think I was gonna like Ellen, but anyway, okay. So Sonny.
Sonny is sort of, I think Sonny is the representation of the audience.
Yeah.
I think, right? Yeah. Sonny is, we're not necessarily trying to leave the town. Mm-hmm. And in fact, technically, as far as the film structure goes, we don't. Right?
Yeah.
The farthest we get is Oklahoma, and that's like,
they barely get into
barely make it. And if anybody knows where Wichita Falls is, it's not that far. So
yeah.
That doesn't count. But he's really just trying to live his life. He's trying to just live. You know what I mean? He's not really, he doesn't have any aspirations. He's not trying to do anything special. He's not trying to get out and make something of himself. He's just living in this town, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to have a relationship with his father, as evidence at the Christmas party, where his dad barely recognizes him and, asks how he's doing. Which, that didn't really need a whole lot of fleshing out for me. I kind of liked that subtle,
Yeah,
okay, they're not involved in each other's lives, right? I don't need more than that. But yeah, when he starts having that affair with Cloris Leachman, Ruth.
Yeah.
That was one of the first interesting turns the movie takes where I go, oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Right? It is based on a novel, the movie.
Yeah, which I read was semi-autobiographical.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And this movie has a lot of adultery in it, a lot of cheating.
I was not expecting as much sexual tension and sex in this movie, but then again, it's 1971.
Yeah.
Why am I so surprised? But I genuinely was. I was like, I felt like that very special episode of Webster. Like, that's a titty. That's a titty. Whole room full of titty. But anyway, that kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, we got to keep going.
And I'm trying to compose my thoughts here because, which is what I should have done before this show. And I've seen Timothy Bottoms before in other things, right? Animal House #1. And
who was he in Animal House?
I don't remember. I just remember he was in Animal House. I've only seen the movie once.
Was he one of the ROTC guys?
I don't think so. Maybe.
I've seen Animal House too, but I.
And then Johnny Got His Gun, which is amazing. He's the main character in that, and it's tremendous. Dalton Trumbo film. It's amazing. Anyway, I thought he was superb in this. As sort of he's naive in a way, right? Coming into his age, right? This is definitely the coming of age portion of this movie. And trying to find himself through the relationships that he has with everyone in the town, right? Sam being, I think, the most important to him.
I think Sam is more,
and then Billy is the second.
I think Sam is more of a father figure to him.
Definitely, yeah.
And Billy is sort of his younger brother.
And so, which,
in a way,
can I blow your mind?
He is his brother.
He is his brother.
No.
Yeah.
No, I looked that up.
Okay.
I was like, I'm like, there's no way they both just happen to have the last name of Bottoms.
Yeah.
But in context of the story,
right, yes.
Billy's definitely sort of the younger brother.
Yes.
To Sonny.
And so when they sort of half humiliate Billy by getting him that prostitute, who, she was gross.
Yeah,
she's disgusting. That sort of, when that breaks Sam's heart, and telling him they can't frequent his establishments anymore, that kind of kills Sonny a little bit. But of course he gets back in
Sam's good graces.
Sam's good graces, yeah.
Yeah, because he owns up to it and tells him I'm sorry. Yeah, because it definitely was something that Sonny went along with, even though his heart wasn't in it. But it's guilty by association.
Yeah. He wasn't the ringleader or whatever. It was that other guy. I don't remember his name.
It was the other. Well, as I learned recently, because I wanted to rewatch it, the ringleader, the guy, had a small part, but he was there to teach all the actors who are from California how to be Texans.
That makes sense.
Because I watched Jeff Bridges' GQ, and he starts with The Last Picture Show.
Oh, okay.
And apparently those two became really good friends, and he's been his stand-in.
Really?
Throughout his career.
Wow.
Because they had such a good relationship on this. But
that's fun.
Yeah, because Jeff was he taught all those California kids how to be Texans.
Yeah.
Well, and I asked one of my employees today, I was like, where do you think Jeff Bridges is from? She was like, somewhere in Texas, right?
Yeah.
I was like, no. He's from LA.
He does a good accent.
Yeah. But anyway, so that guy was the ringleader. And then Dwayne definitely was like,
definitely.
he like, let's do this.
And then, I love the line where he's like, thank God I was asleep or I wouldn't be able to play pool, So, all right. But this is a good transition into Sam the Lion because...
Absolutely.
Dude, all right. I wish we could just, and I know we can't because that would just take up too much time and who's got the time, but to just play his monologue that he has when they're fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Holy shit.
And I know we usually wait before we start talking about the technicality, but the push-ins and push-outs.
Oh, I know.
Glorious.
I know.
Really, really accentuating the really dense moments and then pulling out to get more...
And to get, to remind the audience and, of course, to see Sonny's reactions and,
dude,
it's almost to be like, okay, now what do you think? Okay, let's push back in. Okay, let's push back out.
Yeah.
That was
so
awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
So good.
And that story is just heartbreaking. And
and in growing up, the both of us growing up in Texas, I'm sure, I know I certainly have, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm sure we both have experienced an old timer like that, who's reminisced about, like, I remember when, not to quote Doc Brown, like when all this was, but like I was sitting there watching and listening. I was like, I've met like people like this.
that was one of the moments where I go, I think I love this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a great monologue because, Billy.
And then, of course, the payoff at the end, fuck. I mean, you're just like, God damn it. That is so good.
Yeah.
And it makes the movie so much richer that, it's sort of like one of those, this is a bad example, but it's kind of like, an old time, like mystery, like it has to be someone we've met before.
We've met,
right?
yeah.
And so for it to pay off to where, and I forgot her name, Jesus Christ, Lois. That Lois is the one who got away.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
dude.
You know, Jesus.
I had my suspicions when Sam's like, because Sonny's like, why didn't you marry her? Oh, she was already married. I was like,
huh, interesting. But then I was like, everyone is getting married so young, and of course, 1951.
It was
51, 52.
Yeah,
right?
It was everyone. Baby boomers.
Small town too.
Yeah.
Forget it. You're getting married right out of high school.
No. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Sam, and I love that he pretty much owns all three places that all these teens hang out.
Yeah.
He owns the pool hall. He owns the movie theater, and he owns the cafe.
Yeah.
And those are. It's kind of like here. Like if we went to the mall or Best Buy or and they were all owned by the same people.
Right.
Because that's
our most frequented places.
Yeah, those are the places you and I went all the time in high school. The mall or Best Buy.
Yeah. Back when they sold movies. Forget it. I now that I'm thinking about it, we really should have saved Sam for last because Sam is the heart of this town. Sam is what holds everything together.
He really is.
Because once he's gone...
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Oh my God.
Shit. Once he's gone, the entire town collapses.
It really does.
Right? And that's sort of like that last shot, of the film where it's just desolate. It's gone. Mm-hmm. Right? Because he owned those three places, right? And then, of course, no one's going to keep up with it, right? No one's going to take over.
Yeah.
Right? His wife's not going to do that because she barely understood what was going on anyway, as they said.
Mm-hmm. And we hear through Sonny, what he's got to do to keep the pool hall going.
Right.
He had to get a job because I'm pretty sure he didn't think he was going to have to work, but he was like, I got to keep the pool hall going.
And that's sort of what I mean by it's not hurting him to be a roughneck, right? It's not like, who cares, right? It's not killing him. It's not like his worst nightmare. It's not like Homer Hickam going to the mines, right? It's not like.
Did you just bring up? I was about to say, did you just bring up October Sky?
It's not like that, right? He doesn't mind.
Now that actually is a good comparison.
Thank you. It's not like that, right? He's doing what he can to keep just doing what he's doing.
Also, hang on. Shout out to October Sky, man. That movie's fucking awesome.
So, okay. What this movie does so well, in sort of a weird way, is it's nostalgia, right? Because this movie works on nostalgia in the way that it takes place in 1951 and 52 when it came out in 1971. So we're already
reminiscing.
Right, we're already reminiscing there. But then, of course, in the second half of this film or I guess maybe even third act of this film, where, things are starting to be very different for Sonny, right? The pool hall's going under, right? He can only see one more movie with his friend, right? It's, to bring it back to Sonny, it's, we're seeing all of these things that are being taken away from him as he's getting older, right? Yeah. Which is sort of what Sonny's monologue is all about, right? Things that don't work out, and, getting older is sort of, realizing all the things that could have been, and, it's fascinating. This culmination of different levels of nostalgia, especially when Billy dies.
Yeah.
When Billy dies, we see Sonny, after taking him over to the sidewalk.
Yeah, to get him out of the street because they were just going to leave him there.
Right. He walks into the pool hall one more time, and then that's it. I don't think he's going to go back.
No.
Right?
No.
Because that was the only thing he had left of Sam, number one, was Billy. And that was really the only thing he had left from what was before, he would consider the good times.
Yep.
Right?
Because another good segue to bring it to Dwayne.
Yeah.
His best friend, which, again, I can't speak enough, played so masterfully by Jeff.
Yeah.
Dwayne is sort of the anti-Sonny. He's everything Sonny isn't. Which isn't a bad thing.
No.
I think Sonny is such a well-written character as a whole, but Dwayne is sort of the opposite of all that. Which, of course, is the age-old opposites attract. Yeah. That's probably why they're best friends, because they play off of each other.
Yeah.
But Dwayne he kind of forces himself to grow up because he thinks it's the only way. You know, he probably was one of the more popular guys in school.
I would say so. Yeah.
He was dating the richest and prettiest girl in school.
Yep.
And we'll get to fucking JC in a second. But his world, just like Sonny, starts to unravel. Yeah. With JC breaking up with him.
Oh my God! Just getting involved with JC in the first place.
Yeah, 100%.
Why did you even do that? Yeah. What I thought was interesting was, looking back on it now, it threw me for a little bit, because when he gets off that truck and he's in his roughneck and stuff, it's oil field stuff. For those of you who don't know.
Which I love that Peter Bogdanovich based a movie in Texas and was using terms that probably people in California were like, what?
Well, what does that mean?
What's a roughneck?
Yeah.
Yeah, oil field.
It's oil field stuff.
Yeah.
But, and then they're in high school. I was like, oh, interesting. Like, that's a weird part-time job to have.
Yeah, so he probably, as soon as school's over, goes, works. Yeah. They drop him off in the morning, and then he goes to school.
Fuck that, man.
Yeah, that shit.
But it kind of threw me, because I wasn't expecting them to be in high school. I wasn't expecting them to be, seniors or whatever.
Yeah. Because this is their last year,
yeah. But you're right.
But yeah, so Dwayne's world begins to crumble. And the only thing he can kind of think of, unlike Sonny, is he thinks like, okay, if I get a job and I get money, she'll take me back. So he dips out to Odessa. He dips out to go work in Odessa. And we don't see him for, I think they say like 6 months?
It was a while.
Yeah. We don't see him for a while, but, they hear that, he's doing good. He's got some money.
Over the summer.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's 3 months.
And then he comes back, and he's learned that all his hard work has essentially been for nothing.
Right.
What he thinks is what's going to get JC back has been for nothing. Got a car. He he is even like, if I get more money, she'll take me back.
Yeah.
And so then he does the next logical thing when he's pretty much told, like, yeah, all of this has been for nothing. He enlists in the army.
Yeah, the Korean War was at its
Beginnings, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he gets shipped off, and then he comes back. Well, I guess he got shipped off for basic training, and then comes back, and then he's going to Korea.
Yeah. Haley laughed at the, all right, I'll see you in 9 months if I don't get shot.
Yeah.
That made Haley laugh.
Well, and it's such a great, Dwayne is written as, just to make jokes whenever possible.
Yeah, and I think he's more of he's very Jeff Bridges because he's very laid back.
100%.
He's not, he's not too worried about most stuff except for JC, right?
Yeah. Which, I don't know if you knew, did a little digging today.
Oh, did you?
Peter Bogdanovich did technically make a sequel to this movie. I was going to save this for the end.
Yeah.
But you brought up JC one more time, so I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
In 1990, he made a sequel called Texasville.
Oh, I've heard of that.
People don't like it.
Okay.
But it picks up 33 years after the events of this movie.
I see. Are they back? Is everybody back?
Everyone's back.
Interesting.
But it's more so focused on Dwayne.
I don't know if that would... See, I don't know if that would work as well because, again, there are too many things working so well for this movie that are finite, right?
Well, and there's a couple things I was reading about the movie that I was like, that doesn't make sense. So, hang on, everyone. So, apparently in the movie, Dwayne got his wish, got rich, started his own oil field company.
Oh, okay, well, that'll do it.
But it's failing now. Ruth is his secretary.
Amazing.
Which I'm like, he didn't even know
interact with Ruth. I mean, he did because he was the coach's wife. She was the coach's wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody knows who she is.
Randy Quaid came back for some reason, which...
We'll get to Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about that. It'll take us 5 seconds, but hold on.
Oh, yeah. Randy Quaid came back, but like it literally said like he was on the verge of a stroke or losing money or one of the combination. I was like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah.
Sonny apparently has gone fucking crazy.
That's a shame.
And Dwayne's like really worried about him. And then JC's been like traveling and like came back. So from what I can tell, I may watch it just to see how desperately Peter tried to bring everything back together.
I would advise not to, and here's why.
Okay.
Because of how the movie ends, this one.
Yeah.
I'd rather speculate on Sonny than no. Because what Peter's done, if what you said is true, I don't like that direction for Sonny. No. That's weird to me. I mean, again, I would have just kept focusing it on Sonny anyway, but instead of Dwayne.
From what I can tell, the movie's more so
he survived Korea, that's good.
About Dwayne and JC coming back together.
I see.
Even though Dwayne has a family.
I see. Oh, so that's weird.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's a little sidewaysy to me.
When I read about it, I was like, okay, I might need to watch this just to see, because people do not like.
It's fascinating. Hold on. Oh, there it is.
It is right there. Yeah. If people saw on the YouTube, Jeremy's on IMDb.
Yeah, sorry, I already had it pulled up. So
yeah, so
interesting.
Yeah, they're all back. But. I don't know. I may not, or I may do. I may just disregard you altogether. And
There's something. Yeah, I mean, do whatever you want. There's something about.
Like I said, I was going to save this revelation for the end.
There's something about this film, and even just the title alone, The Last Picture Show, and with the nostalgia and with the loss of time and the wishing things could be like they were. Mm-hmm. That's completely ruined by a sequel to me. I don't like that.
No, we'll see what's. And the sequel is also based on a book. Really? So I don't know if they're part of the same.
I think it is. Yeah. Because Larry Mc.
Oh my
Murdy.
God.
Larry McMurdy. He also wrote the screenplay to Brokeback Mountain, by the way.
That's what's up.
That's a good movie. Anyway, so Dwayne. We're still on Dwayne a little bit.
We're still on Dwayne. Yeah, Dwayne. I saw it as him forcing himself to grow up. Like, if I do these things, I can get her back.
And once I think he enlists in the army, and once he comes back, I think he realizes, like, number one, he was ashamed, which is why he didn't go see Sonny, because he fucked up Sonny's eye with that beer bottle.
Which we're going to get to, because that's still JC's fault.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's why he didn't go see Sonny right away, because he had been there for a while.
Yeah, because everyone's like, yeah, have you seen Dwayne? And he's like, I didn't even know he was in town.
Yeah. So I think that might be a little bit, because I think, and again, fuck, that sequel ruins it, because because I would think he would be kind of over it. He's sort of like, you know what, man, that's the past. Like, that's, JC's not for me. JC's bad news.
Bad news bears.
JC is bad news for both of us. So let's just, let bygones be bygones. Yeah. And let's go see one more movie together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's exactly what it is. Because I think he is accepting, like, because he asks about her, and which I would assume one would do, but he's like, well, like, good for her, I guess.
Whatever, who cares? Fine, let's do it. All right, JC,
Civil Shepherd.
All right, so this character is written in such a fascinating way, because I was ready to love JC, right?
100%.
Yeah, I was ready to...
I was like, here, because she's the typical, like, rebelling against her rich parents.
Yeah, because, and then, like, it's the same thing with, Lois. It's the same thing with Lois, because I thought I wasn't going to like Lois. Right?
Yeah.
And it's completely the opposite.
Do you think Peter Bogdanovich did that intentionally?
Yes, I think this is on purpose, because we're thinking this is going to be your typical,
like, but daddy, I love him kind of girl.
Maybe, or, do anything she can to rebel against, and maybe not care so much about
what other people are thinking,
or being rich, or hanging out with rich people. Like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
I love Dwayne. He doesn't have a lot of money. Who cares? We have money. You married Dad when he didn't have money. Who fucking cares?
But then
slowly but surely, and in a very, organic way.
Yeah, not drastic, which I loved. It wasn't like a...
She's sort of, starting to turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even to where her mom is like, I'm glad she left you, when she did, because, you would have been sucked dry. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, when she's
talking to Sonny. Yeah, it's like, it's good that she got that out of her system early,
Yeah.
Or whatever, it's good that she didn't drag this on long.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man, fuck. I was so upset because she did my boy Jeff Bridges dirty.
She did. Definitely, yeah.
And it's fucking Randy Quaid's fault.
It is Randy Quaid's fault. Okay, here's our 5 seconds of Randy. Randy Quaid's in the movie.
Randy Quaid's in the movie. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I wonder if I'm gonna recognize him.
And
as soon as I heard his, I was like, no, okay, there's Randy.
As soon as you see him, you're like, that's Randy Quaid.
Well, because like when I first saw him, it was a profile, and it didn't hit me immediately. But as soon as he opened his fucking mouth,
like,
I was like, oh, it's there. There
he is.
Fuck, what's his character in Christmas Vacation? Fucking Eddie. Cousin Eddie. I was like, oh, there's Cousin Eddie right there.
There he is.
Shitter was full.
Yeah.
Dude.
Randy Quaid being I was expecting, I don't know, like, I was expecting a different performance from him. For some reason, I was like, he's in the Last Picture Show. That's a very prestigious movie. I'm expecting a prestigious performance.
And we got exactly what we wanted.
And I was like, oh, that's just Randy
Quaid. He probably just rolled up to set one day, and Peter Bogdanovich was like, hey, just go over there.
Go over there, wear this.
Yeah, wear this, say these things.
Yeah.
And he was just like, okay.
You got
it. Here, hold my squirrel.
Yeah.
He's a literal raccoon.
But, so anyway, so Randy Quaid's in the movie. That's weird. Whatever, we'll move past it.
Yeah, he invites, and this is where he, in my opinion, he plants the seed.
Yeah.
In JC. Now, so I would say, of the things that happened between Dwayne and Sonny, JC is 99% responsible, but Lester was his character?
I think so. Yeah.
Lester, it was the other 1%, because he plants the seed in JC to like, hey, come to this party with a bunch of rich other people, last time his folks weren't there.
And we're
all skinny dipped.
Yeah.
And that entices her.
So here's what I thought was going to happen.
Okay, tell me.
I am so used to, I guess, and now not so much, right? Now this would not be the case, but what I'm used to in situations like this in film, I'm used to her being like, "Ew, gross, you're ugly, get away from me," because he's obviously not as good looking as
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges,
19-year-old Jeff Bridges.
So
I mean,
I'm
come
like,
on.
that dude's a smoke show. So I'm like, what's going on? But again, I have to flip my brain back to, they're not going to do that. And also it's really about status at this point, right?
Yeah.
For JC.
Especially in 1951.
So let me preface this with, I saw this section of the film, at the pool scene, talked about in a wonderful documentary about nudity and the history of nudity in film called Skin. It's amazing. It's on Hulu. Go check it out. And they talk about this scene with Sybil Shepherd being having to undress in front of everybody in this pool scene.
Yeah, which I thought... I'm going to stop you right there just for a second.
Sure.
I thought for sure that was going to be the deal breaker for her. That she's going to be like, oh, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And dip. She doesn't. Continue.
So what Haley pointed out immediately, and what I thought was pretty genius on Bogdanovich's part, if this was his idea, was music stops, talking stops, right? It is silent, right?
Yeah.
And it's very awkward, and it's very real. It's very in the moment, right? It's heightening what JC's feeling is, being nervous and, her maybe she's unsure. Maybe I should have stayed with Dwayne. Maybe I shouldn't have come out here. And then once she does it and she jumps in, we're fine. And then the music comes back and everyone starts laughing and everyone's fine.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with Sonny and Ruth.
Oh my God, they're so awkward. So awkward.
Which again is on purpose, right?
Yeah.
It's very in the moment. It's very real. It's very much we're feeling every thought.
Yeah.
Every thought process that's going on, right? With these two scenarios, right? One pushes JC further away from Dwayne. The other is pushing Sonny towards Ruth, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's like it's such a weird, not weird. It's an interesting technique to just drop music and just let sounds be sounds and let's let moments be moments, right? Especially with Sonny and Ruth. That was it was awkward, yes, but it needed to be because this was something that Ruth wasn't sure about. She's putting herself out there. She's doing something out of her comfort zone, something she shouldn't be doing technically. And then of course, Sonny's in that same way where he's like, I don't know, like I'm into it, but
I'm into it, but should I really be?
Like, I don't know if I should be, whatever. Yeah. And it kind of becomes this known thing in the town where everyone knows that he and Ruth were together.
Which is so interesting that it's brought up, but Sonny doesn't really face any repercussions.
No. And
from anyone.
And I think that's fine. I think, again, this is old school small town mentality where it's sort of like if Lois is very unhappy in her marriage, she knows Ruth is too, who cares? Right?
Yeah, because Lois be fucking too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but hang on, we're not done with
yeah,
Jesse
yeah,
yet, but I wanted to point out those two scenes that were just so devoid of distraction. Yeah. Right? That you're just in the moment, and I love that. Yeah.
So back to fucking Jesse. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, so she falls for Bobby Sheen.
Oh yeah, that dude was handsome. Yeah.
He was handsome, but he was a piece of shit.
He is a piece of shit.
Because she wants to be with him because he's rich, just like her. And like you said, status is becoming a thing for her. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't date virgins.
No, he doesn't.
So she
Do you blame him? Anyway, who's got the time?
So she devises a way to guarantee that she's no longer a virgin.
Yeah.
and she can kind of get what she wants,
Yeah.
which is to cut Dwayne out and get with Bobby.
Yeah.
By telling Bobby on the senior trip, let's have sex.
Yeah.
But
To Wichita Falls.
To Wichita Falls.
Yeah.
But Dwayne, unfortunately, probably taken aback. My man can't get up.
No, I think a lot of it is, her sort of cavalier attitude about it.
Like, just come on, like, let's.
Yeah, him just, it was sort of like last minute, like, let's just do this, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
All those people waiting outside.
Yeah, which I thought she was messing around, and then he walks out, and we just
And
got
they're all
that.
waiting,
They're
right?
all like, and I love that Sonny, being a bro, is like, all right, come on, man, like, let's go.
And then, that was the main turning point for JC in my eyes, was her reaction to it and her just being super mean about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, she just wants attention, she wants status.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because then, he begs her, like, let me try again. I can do it.
Yeah.
And they do.
Yeah.
And then she cuts his ass off.
Yeah.
And tries to get with Bobby. Bobby got himself married.
Yep.
So she didn't get what she wanted.
No, and then eventually she gets with Lois's boyfriend, which is very odd. And what made it even odder was Lois knew about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because she heard his car, so she assumed.
Yeah.
Which, sidebar, what an absolute.
It's a weird relationship. Yeah.
But what an absolute legend of Lois. that dude was going to come over and fuck her in her house, and her husband was probably still there.
Yeah.
Dude, she's a pro.
Yeah, dude, she's a legend. Anyway.
But yeah, because she heard his car, and then when she comes into the kitchen, here comes JC, and then she's like,
right, and then she's not mad.
She's not mad about it, which,
again,
that was weird.
Legend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's like,
a legend.
She's like, oh, he piped you too? Nice.
That's what's up. Yeah, Haley thought that was really weird because we were like, oh no, she's gonna have sex with Lois's boyfriend. Lois is gonna be mad.
I for sure thought she was gonna slap her. I was like, oh shit.
And again, this movie's just subverting so many of my expectations because that's not where I thought the story was gonna go. And then again, she's not getting what she wants, and so when Sonny dies, not Sonny, I'm sorry, when Sam dies. Yes, is when she starts seeing Sonny?
No.
When Sam dies?
So
I don't remember. It was
Lois,
yesterday. I should remember.
Oh, I finished the movie today.
Okay.
Lois mentions to JC that Sonny and Ruth have been a thing for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And JC immediately adopting the whole, like, I know he wants me mentality.
Yeah.
It's after the preacher's boy kidnapped that 3-year-old.
You're right. Right.
And she's like, come on, like, come driving with me.
Billy Joe? No.
Joe Bob.
Joe Bob,
who we see throughout the whole movie.
Fascinating, because, again, it was a direction the movie takes where I was like, that's a weird way to go. But I'm into it, because it's sort of like people go in all different directions, right? Mm-hmm. He was in the classroom, he was like, well, if they accepted Lord and Savior Jesus Christ as their Savior, we wouldn't have this, or whatever, right?
Oh, speaking of which, their teacher was in Blazing Saddles.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, we present to you a laurel.
I don't remember that. That's fun. Yeah. I didn't catch that.
I was like, I know that voice. And then as soon as his face came on screen, I was like, oh, it's a fucking laurel guy. But of course, they're all their last names are Johnson.
Right.
So
that's so funny. Anyway, but yeah, with him being the preacher's son and like him being made fun of and him getting picked on and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like I didn't consciously say we're gonna see him again, right?
Yeah, because Peter had kind of sprinkled him around.
It's sort of like one of those organic things where it's like when they said Joe, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then when they said kidnap some girl, I go, that's weird. And then the girl got out of the car, I go, that's young.
Like, oh
Jesus. And so it's sort of like this town, like where people end up is sort of like, I think where that story was sort of going, like, look where Joe Bob ended up, right?
Yeah.
Look where he started, look where he's at, right? Like, that's sort of interesting.
That's gross.
Not necessarily important to the story at all.
No,
right?
It's more of a, like, hey, we haven't checked on this character.
Or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of like, things are starting to change, right? And again, it's sort of like, why I love this title so much, Last Picture Show, because it's sort of like things change.
Yeah.
Things go away. Things don't end up where you think they will, right? Yeah. And Joe Bob is a great example of that, and I think that's why he's in there. I think that's the important bit of Joe Bob's
kind of
arc. That's not
his 3 scenes in the whole movie.
Yeah. I love how mean the coach is being to him, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's like coaches were allowed to talk to people back then like that. That's awesome.
Calling them piss ants. Dude,
yeah.
It's so good. Okay. So JC very much being like, I want him. No one else can have him. And starts to turn Sunny with her wiles.
Yeah.
They never have sex, but he's so infatuated with her.
Yeah.
And I think it's the situation of, wow, the popular girl's talking to me.
Well, it has always been, because her introduction to the film is through his eyes. And, it's sort of like, it's extreme close-up of her. And you're like, whoa. Like, JC's here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
then you see his dumpy girlfriend who fucking cares.
Charlene.
Or whatever. Such a Texan name.
Dude, and when like I said, I was kind of taken aback when she, like, takes her bra off. I'm like, oh, titties.
You're right, yeah.
Like, oh, okay. But yeah, so then of course, when Dwayne comes to visit, after being in Odessa, getting that nice-ass Mercury.
Yeah.
They get into a fight because Dwayne still loves JC.
Yeah.
And he loves her deeply. She may not love him, but he deeply loves her.
Right.
And so they get in a fight, and JC and Sonny decide they're going to elope.
Yes.
And I think for Sonny, it's more so he can finally have sex with her.
Maybe, yeah. And then for JC, it's I want attention, basically, because she's like, if we get married, oh no, I hope my parents don't fight. But she left a note.
I had to leave a note.
Right, and then it's like, I hope they don't call the cops. I hope people don't find out.
I think she actually, I mean, obviously, she definitely was hoping this stuff would happen. But yeah, dude, fuck JC, man.
I know, and then that's it. And then that's the end of JC, because
the last we hear about her, she goes to college and she's
in
been,
Dallas. Yeah.
She's been in Dallas. Fuck JC.
But again, this is where Lois becomes really interesting, because in the beginning, you're like, she's just going to be one of those overbearing mothers who...
One of those trophy moms.
Right, or whatever, right? It's just like, you should date rich people, blah, blah, blah. But then it's sort of like, it's almost like she's saving Dwayne, right? Because she can see the sort of toxicity that is...
Her daughter?
JC, yeah. And trying to talk her into dumping him. I think she was trying to save Dwayne.
I think so, too. I think she recognized in both Sonny and Dwayne that these two boys, even though Dwayne, although a little misguided, because, he never owned up to the fact that he had a part to play in Billy's prostitute thing, I think she saw that they were good boys.
Yeah.
And JC will and could have ruined them both.
Right.
And so I think you're right. I think she was like, that's why she was so adamant. Like, oh, you need to get with a rich guy.
And then, of course, we get that that wonderful reveal that she was the one that got away with Sam. And she was the one that coined Sam the Lion. Mm-hmm. And
do you know why people call him that? It's because I called him that.
And, that story is now complete for us, the audience, that...
And again, you've been saying it a lot organically. I love that Sonny figures it out organically. He's like, you're the one he took swimming, aren't you? And she's like,
he told you about that? And you're like, oh my God.
Like,
holy shit. And, they just loved each other so much. And I grew up with Mom loving the story of, coincidentally, Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. Spencer Tracy is, of course, in the movie they see in the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
They go see Father of the Bride with him and Liz Taylor. That's who that was in the beginning when they go to the movies.
Okay.
So their love was unrequited because they could never be together. They were either one of them was married, the other one was married. They were never together, and they loved each other so much. So I always grew up with that story. So coincidentally, Spencer Tracy's in the movie.
Yeah.
And I just feel that that unrequited love, and you're like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like they could have made it, and they really truly loved each other very much.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't meant to be,
Yeah. Yeah, and it is sort of sad too, but I think I love the twisted lows, and of course Ellen Burstyn.
Oh.
And
again, she comes on screen and go, that's what she used to look like? I was like, dude, Jesus.
She was a smoke show.
A smoke show.
And thank God she's still alive. Oh my gosh.
Ellen Burstyn's the best.
Thank God she's
Anytime
still alive.
she's on in anything, since Requiem, I saw that probably too young. And I just love anything she's in. I'm like, oh, sweet Ellen Burstyn. She's amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I love that, again, you've been saying it, the subversion of expectations that, I for sure was like, oh, we're going to fucking hate her.
Right, yeah.
And then she's actually revealed to be actually very sweet and caring and
right.
Not what you would expect from a trophy wife.
No.
At all.
No, not at all.
And I love I love that when JC's parents, her and her husband, catch up with them, and he's like, he can walk for all I care. and Lois is like, come on.
Yeah,
come on. I'll drive you back. I loved it so much. Okay. Now we do need to finish out Sonny and Ruth's sort of.
Yeah.
arc.
I wanted to get to Ruth because Cloris Leachman, this movie won 2 Oscars. She was one.
Dude, if we didn't say it enough, she is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
In our Young Frankenstein episode, she is the best.
Yeah.
When I mentioned Ashley's Mima and Paul last night,
which is, I think it's like a year or 2 after this. 74, I guess. So it'd be 3 years.
3. Damn it. Mel Brooks locked her in.
Yeah.
Well, then again, in our time, if you've got like an Oscar or 2, it's hard for movies that would be considered smaller to lock you in. But anyway, but when I mentioned that to Ashley's Mima and Paul that we were doing this, her pa was like, he's like, oh yeah, and Cloris Leachman. He's like, of course, my favorite role is Frau Bruja. And I was like, Jeremy loves Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I didn't realize she was in it until Ashley's Mima mentioned it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm watching it tonight when we leave here. And she's like, yeah, Jeff, she doesn't, her Mima doesn't dislike the movie. She thought it was weird. But I think it's
because it subverts expectations.
Yeah.
Right? It goes in directions you're not expecting because that's how life is, right?
Yeah. But then she was like, yeah, and Cloris Leachman. I was like,
Cloris Leachman.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she also looks great. And she, it's the first time I'm seeing her really not playing a character. It seemed she was just so great, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, she's so good.
Absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, as playing this sort of depressed housewife.
Yeah.
That I did want to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you think she was bored as well? Because I know for sure she was 100% depressed.
Well, yes. She was 100% depressed. The clinic has something to do with her depression, I think. Mm-hmm. I think maybe there's something up with her, maybe.
Yeah.
Was it a women's clinic?
I don't remember.
Is that what it was? Because if so, she may have gotten some terrible news, maybe that she can have children or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
They didn't seem to have children.
No.
She's in a loveless marriage, like everyone in this fucking town.
Do you think that's probably why the coach didn't care that Sonny was banging her?
Maybe not. They never really talk about him after that a lot.
Well, and the coach walks by Sonny towards the end of the movie, and I was expecting Sonny to spill the beans or him to be like, I know what you've been doing, or beat the shit out of Sonny. Yeah. He just walks right by him.
No, like it's fine,
Yeah.
Or maybe he still doesn't know, right?
And what
hard to believe, but
what a dense, if that was true, like what a dense guy that you don't know that the kid you used to coach in high school is banging your wife.
That's sort of the trope of the husband who's being cheated on. They're always the last to know.
Cock.
Yeah. But so it did break my heart when you realize that Ruth was waiting on him that day.
Dude.
I know, right? And then he sort of like cuts her off completely, is what it seems like. Right?
Yeah, well, because JC has gotten him so...
Yeah, JC's the worst.
Poisoned. Because Ruth, yes, she was older, but I think they were bringing out the best in each other.
Mm-hmm.
It is sort of an unexpected love story between the two of them. But JC had her hooks by that point so deep into Sonny that he was like, I got to cut her off.
Yeah. And so I think obviously the scene that wins her the Oscar is
her
yeah,
dude.
And when she's just so sick of apologizing to everyone all the time, where she deserves apologies, right?
Yeah,
she's the one who's been hurt. She's not hurting other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once she finally realizes that, it's sort of a breakthrough moment for her. It's sort of like your classic battered woman who's finally had enough and is realizes her worth and realizes whatever that trope or whatever. I loved it.
Yeah,
loved
100%.
every minute that she was talking.
I was sort of like, why is she shaking so bad? And then when she fucking throws that coffee cup, I was like, oh
shit.
I was like, she's mad.
Yeah, and that monologue won her the Oscar 100%.
Right? 100%. If that didn't, I would hope it's just her performance as a whole. Right. But for sure, that monologue secured that.
And then, of course, this bleeds into the final shot where, where Sonny is just so broken because he's already lost Amy, he's already lost Billy, right? Mm-hmm. Dwayne's not there, and he's losing Ruth as we speak, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that he doesn't say anything. I love that there's no please, please. I can fix this, please just stay with me.
Yeah.
I just love it was a simple, he just offered his hand.
Yeah.
Like, just hold my hand, please.
Yeah.
And
then she's comforting him, and then we get that shot of the strip just being so desolate and empty, and then the movie's over. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say, I wish it had been normal credits, because it kind of took me out of the feeling of it being so desolate and so empty, and
then we get the
and how things change so much, and how we can't keep things forever, and then it's like Timothy Bottoms as Sonny, and I was like, oh, okay.
As Sonny Crawford.
I turned it off immediately. I was like, I can't handle that.
You're saying it's how you felt after finishing being there.
Yes, it's absolutely how I felt after finishing being there, because it ruins it. It takes you out of it.
Do you think you did that?
I don't know. It's not. It wasn't an unpopular thing to how to end movies. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
seen it done a million times.
That's how our Lost episode, Rocky Horror, ends.
Yeah, you're right.
We will eventually redo Rocky Horror. Just probably next season.
Give it a while.
Who knows?
I still need to forget what I said. So it doesn't sound
I don't
rehearsed.
even remember what I said.
Oh, well, good for you. All right.
We've done too many movies since then.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be like a Halloween episode or some shit? I don't remember.
Maybe.
Anyway, I could see that. I could see that because it didn't really take me out of it, just because as soon as Jeff Bridges came back up, I was like, Jeff. I was like, I paused it and I showed one of my employees. I was like, look how fucking handsome this guy was.
Handsome.
I mean, I was like, now granted, he still looks great.
So good.
He's aged so well.
Yeah.
I was like, but look at this smoke show.
Yeah.
But then I turned it off. I was like, all right, cool. Finish the movie now. But I could see what you're saying. Like, it had Peter just rolled credits, normal credits.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh, man.
My stars. Let me clutch my pearls.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh, man. It would have been a lot heavier, I think. Which is what I wanted, really.
Well, and I think... See, now that we're discussing it...
Did you watch the director's cut, by the way? I did.
So, I started watching my Criterion version.
Yeah.
And then I got too tired. I got too a little tie. And so I watched about half the movie last night. Mm-hmm. And then today I finished the second half. But I rented it on iTunes, and it was the director's cut.
Okay.
Which I couldn't tell the difference.
Okay.
Because I was able to pick it up right where I'd left off. Because I made sure, I was like... Because I saw a director's cut.
The director's cut is on the Criterion that you have.
Oh, then that's why I didn't feel any different.
I don't know if it gave you the option, right?
Oh, I just hit play.
Okay.
When I popped in my Criterion, I just hit play.
So mine, I also have the Criterion, but I did.
Criterion?
Yeah, But I did the Columbia Classics one instead.
Oh.
Because I was like, oh,
what's the difference?
Well, I wanted to watch it in 4K. I thought that'd be cool. But the theatrical was the only one in 4K.
Really?
The director's cut was on Blu-ray. I was like, fuck it, Blu-ray. Let's fucking get it.
Oh, okay. I thought you went ahead and finished it, so...
I was like, fuck it. You know?
Spent $200 on this shit.
Yeah, I didn't, thank God. But I was just wondering if you had watched the... You know,
Yeah, no.
or whether it ended the same way, because it is longer. It's about...
Yeah, because the director's cut, when I saw that it was 2 hours and 6 minutes, I was like...
About 10 minutes longer, maybe?
I was like, Jesus Christ.
I think. It's about 10 minutes longer.
Because it was about 11 o'clock by that point.
Which is a lot. 10 minutes is a lot to put into a movie.
It really is. Which is funny because for the last 3 days I've been talking... I don't know why. I guess because of all the shakeup with it, DC, but I've been talking about the Batman a lot. And I keep saying how you and I wanted it at least 2 hours longer.
Yeah.
And someone was like, why?
I don't know. I was enjoying it.
Like, because it was fun.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
I didn't want it to end.
It was a good movie. Whatever.
Look, I don't have to explain myself to you and my love of the Batman.
Yeah, I don't have to explain it.
But anyway, yeah, no, I'm gonna be real. I wouldn't have even known had I finished it Friday night when I started it. Mm-hmm. I would have never known until today.
Okay.
That there was a director's cut.
I haven't said anything that you were like, "What are you talking about?" So I think it's fine.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
Like, what? That didn't happen in mine. What are you talking about?
What do you mean Billy dies?
Yeah, what are you talking about? That didn't happen. Wouldn't that be nuts if they...
That was what they cut out? Dude. Oh,
By the way,
God.
Without looking it up, did you know what the last movie was that they saw?
No.
I thought it was
I saw John Wayne.
Yeah, I saw John Wayne and I was like, ooh, it's not the Cowboys. I think that's later, right? But it felt like that. It was Red River.
Oh.
Yeah. I had to look it up. I had no idea. I was like, John Wayne, it could be this, or this, right?
Which is interesting because then, of course, Jeff Bridges would be in a remake of a classic John Wayne movie.
Right.
But, of course, that version's more based on the book. Miss me with that. I love the Coen's version of True Grit.
Yeah, I do. I love...
Because how I justified it as not just a remake is that it was based more on the book versus just a remake.
Right.
So, anyway, miss me with that.
But yeah, so they went and saw Red River, and then that was it.
Which... correct my memory.
Okay.
But Red River is sort of a tale of friends, right?
I can look at it. Yeah, probably is.
Have you never seen Red River?
No.
You don't know the American classic of John Wayne?
Shut up.
Never seen a single John Wayne.
You've never seen John Wayne movie? Okay. Well,
never
then,
seen a single one.
Look who's schooling who now. Yeah, it's a cattle drive movie, so it's more of a traveling movie.
Well, which kind of fits for Sonny and Dwayne in that moment, because Dwayne quite literally is about to travel to Korea, and Sonny...
I wouldn't try to force it too bad.
I'm going to. Let me force it.
I wouldn't try. It is interesting that these aren't new movies that they're showing at the movie theater, right? They're old, or older. Like this one came out in 1948, right?
So that 3-year-old movie in the terms of the...
I was kind of hoping it'd be in color. Like they're watching a movie in color, but we're seeing it in black and white. But it's in black and white.
That'd be tight.
Let me see when Father of the Bride came out.
Okay. Can I tell you?
Absolutely.
How? Because I'm gonna gush real quick back on Jeff Bridges. His wardrobe in that movie was fucking
it was fire, dude.
Awesome.
Okay, 1950, so it was newer, but
his shirts were the shit.
Yeah, his shirts were really cool.
And JC still didn't want to stay with him.
I know, it's ridiculous. It makes no sense.
Bitch.
I know, it makes no sense. But he doesn't have a duckbill hairdo, so. Them's the breaks. Now here's an oops I forgot.
Oops I forgot?
Yeah. I loved that I don't know, it seems like a nostalgia thing, but you could probably do this in 1971 also, I would assume. It's just pick up and go somewhere. Like when they go to Mexico.
When they go to Mexico? Yeah.
And of course...
Like, come on, man, let's get out of here. Let's just go to Mexico.
Staying with, again, the sort of structure of the film where I'm not going to take you out of Texas. That's crazy. That's dumb. We're just going to show them. I don't
have that in the budget. We're just going to show them coming back.
I loved that we saw them going and we saw them coming back. I loved that we're not spending a lot of time out of this town, right? Because that's kind of the whole thing.
Well, and of course, this is, continuing with the oops, I forgot. This is when they get the reveal that Sam died while they were gone.
Oh.
The over the weekend while they were fucking partying in Mexico, Sam died of a stroke. Which also is a very Texas thing, I've learned. They just kind of always seem to chalk it up to a stroke. Yeah, a stroke.
Like, okay.
Oh, okay. But I love that we were talking about that off mic, that they come back hungover, and Dwayne's like, give me some more of them Tums.
Yeah.
You ate them all before we even got to San Antonio.
San Antone.
San Antonio. And he's just like, oh, yeah.
The accents were bad, by the way.
Well, see, and again, man, Jeff, this isn't, for him, this is the first time he's played a Texan, but it won't be the last, you know. I think Jeff...
His gets better and better.
And shout out to Hell or High Water.
Yeah.
You could have told me that Jeff grew up in fucking East Texas.
Yeah.
Grew up on a ranch, and I would have been like, okay.
Okay, that makes sense. Completely makes sense to me.
Yeah. The fact that he isn't from Texas, it makes it all the more...
It's impressive. Yeah.
It's better, because you forget that the dude is in California.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, man.
But the accents were good.
Accents were great. And it's... So in terms of our real life, I was like, this feels very Texas. This feels very...
Well, it's very small town Texas. So these are, of course, at the time, 1951 and 2, a lot of the towns were like this, where I don't know how it is in other states, but in Texas, towns started with the courthouse and you build around it. So the center of the town, which is usually the town square, the courthouse is right in the center.
Is that true?
Yep.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Except our courthouse...
Our town is not like that.
They tore our courthouse down, didn't they?
It was built after the fact.
They tore the old one down because now it's that fucking building.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Well, at a time, it might have been the center.
But that makes sense because, so, when Ashley and I go to Austin, we go through Eden and Brady.
Yep, Brady, and you go through Mason, they're the same. They're all the same. And then
we don't really go through Mason, but
Sterling City's the same way.
Yeah, dude.
They all have town squares.
Dude, well, I'm going to be 100%. We don't stop on our way to Austin. We never stop in Garden City or Sterling City.
No, of course not. You don't need to stop.
Fuck that shit. I would be terrified stopping in those towns because living in a small town would freak me out. Okay. Like I've told Ashley. Ashley said that she would love to live in a small town. Like when we were intentionally following y'all to the wedding. Yeah. When we went through, I don't know what town we went through. But Ashley was like, I'd love to live in a small town like this. And I was like, I mean, if you want to, I was like, but here's the problem. And she immediately was on the same wavelength with me, which is what we saw in this movie. Everyone's in each other's business.
Haley is from a small town.
And I don't like that.
It is fascinating. It is literally like that because we'll go to her hometown and then, dude, it is exactly like that. It's crazy because
don't like that.
She'll just tell me stories about and then the people still live there. You know what I mean? And she goes, and they live over there. They still do. And then, they used to live there. Now they live over there. And everybody knows everybody, right? There is grudges that just are deep.
See, and that's what scares me the most too, is the grudges. Like, have no one ever seen The Burbs?
There are bridges that are burnt and will never be rebuilt. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean?
My kids will hate his kids.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
the small town stuff is amazing.
Well, see, it just freaks me out. Now, granted, going through Eden, we do stop in Eden. Well, it's mainly for bathroom breaks.
I don't do those.
We stopped in Eden on the way back from Austin this last time, and Ashley was hungry, and I was like, "Well, we're literally 45 minutes away from San Angelo. Do you want to stop there?" She's like, "No, we'll stop at the Dairy Queen."
So here's what I do. Okay.
Tell me what you do.
I gas up.
Okay.
I go to San Angelo.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
I gas up.
Uh-huh.
I go to Austin.
Really?
No, that's a lie. I go...
I have to say, because I just learned something interesting.
No, I have to go to Brady and gas up, and then I can fucking go. I have to stop. It's because it's far.
I learned that thanks to your bachelor party when you were so mad at me. You were like, just keep fucking going.
Just keep fucking going.
But I had to pee.
Yeah.
So just mine
you
as
have
well.
So much gas. We can make it there and back.
So I tested that this last time going to Austin. I was like, I was like, we're going to stop in San Angelo just for a pee break, snack break, whatever. I was like, but I'm not going to fill up. And Ashley was like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm 75% certain.
I lied to you just then.
Well, we did make it to Brady.
What I do is, I go to Brady.
Yeah.
It's on the way back. I have to stop in San Angelo.
Well, no, so
it's that weird sort of like, they're not necessarily in the middle.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. Because we went through San Angelo. Sorry, everyone. Hang on.
This is riveting.
But see,
for people at home.
It ties in. It ties in. We're still talking about Texas.
I guess.
I took a gamble.
I completely forgot we were recording for a second.
It's okay. I took a gamble, but I took a gamble this time and it paid off. So yeah, I made it all the way to Brady, gassed up, made it to Austin, and then did exactly what you said.
I hate this. Now that I realize we were still recording, I'm mad now.
It's okay.
Anyway,
we're moving on.
Okay.
Last Picture Show. I loved it.
Tremendous film. I love everything about it. Even my hatred of Jay-Z. I love everything about this movie.
I think it's a situation of she was written so we could love to hate.
Of course.
Yeah, 100%.
And I mean, there's a reason why people talk about it the way they do. I mean, it's on it's in the 1,000 movies you must see before you die. It's on, you know what I mean? It's
well, now I can check that off.
Lots of top 10s. My mom saw it recently, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, as in, she rewatched it or finally saw it?
She may have seen it for the first time. I don't remember.
Well, great. Now
she was surprised this was my first time.
Really?
Yeah. She goes, I thought you'd seen it before. I go,
No. Would you, now seeing it, would you have been like, I would have remembered?
Oh, yeah. I would have definitely remembered. This movie's amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, man. And now next week I'm going to fucking ruin it.
Yep. So let's get to it, shall we?
Okay. So now that we're kind of getting back into everything, Jeremy's leaving me again. So
I know.
In preparation.
Holidays, man.
In preparation for Christmas coming up, I coerced him to once again do at least one more Christmas movie. We took off a movie. Now, were you upset that I took off the Florida Project?
No.
Okay, good.
I've seen it before, so that's fine.
Okay, good. So we are going to do another Christmas movie. I may release it on Monday, the 26th.
Okay.
Because everyone, you're all going to be with your families on the 25th, so we'll do it I'll release it on the 26th.
Okay.
That way people can, And so we'll do the audio Monday and the video Tuesday.
Okay.
Or I might do both on Monday.
I'd be do both on Monday. Who cares?
I don't know. That's a future rain problem.
That is a future rain problem.
Anyway, so next week, for Christmas, we will be discussing The Man Who Invented Christmas.
Whatever.
It'll be a short episode, probably.
I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe it's fucking great. I don't know. I haven't seen it. So
I will be amazed if you come over and
what's the guy's name?
Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens. Yeah, he's good. I liked it.
If anyone has seen Legion on FX, he's amazing.
He is good.
More recently, if you saw him in the remake of Beauty and the Beast, he was the Beast. Or he's in Welcome to Chippendales on Hulu. Yeah.
You've seen it before. There's a great horror film on Netflix called The Apostle. He's in that.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. Dude, I purely watched it just for him.
It's great.
Fucking loved it.
Fucking Michael Sheen,
Michael Sheen, dude.
The best.
Dude, that movie was legit. It was genuinely terrifying.
The Apostle, man. You gotta see that shit.
So good. But anyway.
He plays Charles Dickens, and he's writing the book.
Yeah, dude,
We'll see.
I will openly admit on camera if you were like, dude, this is the best movie.
This is the best movie I've ever seen.
I would be like, holy shit.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Now we have to do a 3-hour long episode of it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So again, coercing Jeremy into doing another Christmas movie. But this time it's not forced. It just happens.
I don't give a shit.
As where I forced you to do Santa Claus.
Even though I love that movie.
No, so do I. Because we're children of broken homes. So, but anyway, so everyone, we hope you enjoyed the Last Picture Show. Sorry that we rambled so much, but literally it's our first episode in 2 fucking weeks.
I forgot how.
Yeah. And we will see you next week for The Man That Invented Christmas.